YouTube, this is Tom with TM Aquatics, bringing you a quick video today on the Python water change system, and I just want to share a couple of tips and tricks that I use in my fish room that give me a little more versatility and functionality out of my Python water change system. Now, the Python is a great tool that's a must-have in just about everybody's fish room. It's made the quality of life a lot better for us when it comes to water changes, and I wouldn't be without it, and if you don't have one, I recommend that you get one. But as designed, there's a couple things that I think they could do, a couple improvements they could make that would just make this a little more functional. And let me just talk about that a little bit more. Now, this standard end that comes with the Python water change system, I don't use this too much. And the reason I don't use it is I don't like to gravel vac my substrate too much. And the reason I don't do that, number one, if it's a shrimp tank, obviously you run the risk of siphoning up some baby shrimp. Number two, when you siphon substrate, sometimes you get substrate going up into the Python, and potentially that could go into your drain and cause issues, and that's another reason. And the last one is, this is a pretty big opening, and baby fish and shrimp can get sucked up in, and nobody wants that to happen. But what I like to use instead of the standard end that comes with the Python water change system is the Python hook. And this has really made life a lot easier, and I've gotten a lot more out of my Python water change system using this. Now, I use this to siphon water out. I use it to, I keep it on there when I put water back in the tank, but the hook, as designed, also has a couple of shortcomings. And let's talk about those. Now, for starters, if you're using this to siphon the water out, you can clearly see it doesn't come down into the tank very far, just a couple of inches. So you're going to do a minimal water change. You're not going to be pulling a lot of water out. And then when you go to fill back up, all the water is coming straight down out of this tube, and that's going to go into your substrate, disrupt your substrate, maybe make your tank a little more cloudy. So here's what I do to get through that and work around that. Now, I haven't used PVC pipe before, but I have seen guys on some forums use this. And what they do is they will cap the end and then drill holes in here, drill a bunch of holes. And this fits on the end of the Python. Now, it's not a perfect fit, so you'd either have to maybe use some Teflon tape to cram in there to make the fit a lot tighter, or perhaps you could silicone it if you want to make it a permanent change. But, you put that in the tank, and now you can go down much deeper into the water column and pull out a lot more water when you're doing a water change system. Another option would be to use just some flex hose. And I think this is a 1-inch inside diameter hose. And this fits on the hook as well. And it's a nice snug fit. That's not going to come off. And same thing with the PVC. It goes down into the water column. But the nice thing about this, there's some drawbacks and there's some pluses. The nice thing is you can really cut this easily, just like with the PVC, to various lengths and have different lengths for whichever tanks you're using. If it's a 20 long, you want a shorter. That's a 12-inch high tank. You want a shorter piece. If you're doing a 150, that's a taller tank. Maybe you want a longer piece like this. But the only thing is there's nothing to cap the end. Now, I guess you could stick some polyfill up there, or maybe a piece of sponge filter. That would work just fine. But one tool or one piece that I like to use that I found that's even better than the PVC and better than the flex pipe is simply an extra piece of Aqua Clear 110 or Aqua Clear 70 intake tube. This here fits on the Python hook perfectly. It's a nice snug fit. You don't need to silicone it. You don't need to put any type of additional attachment on there like a hose clamp or anything to hold. It's going to stay. And now you can see I'm going to go down to the water column a lot further for this 55 gallon. That takes me down to up to a 40% water change. So, and the other nice thing, when you're using this to fill the tank back up, the way this pre-filter portion of the intake tube is designed, it's going to disperse the water flow when it comes back in the tank. It's not going to go straight down. It's going to get broken up, and it's kind of all going to go off in different directions. Now, this makes life a lot easier and has made the Python water change hook better, but there's a couple of additional attachments that you can use on this to make it even one step better than that. Let's talk about that. Okay, so what I like to use with my Python hook, there's a couple pieces that I've used, but there's one that I prefer over the other. And what I started using originally was one of these pre-filters, and this is a Max 3 pre-filter. These can be purchased on Amazon for 10, 15 bucks, something like that. And they come with a whole bunch of different fittings that are going to fit, you know, there's going to be a fitting on here or an adapter that's going to fit basically any type of intake, any size intake tube that you have on your filter. But the nice thing about it is there are adapters that fit these aqua clears just perfectly. So what you can do is take this pre-filter sponge, stick it on the end of that aqua clear intake tube. Yeah, and it just came out of a tank, so it's a little dirty. My apologies. But now you've got a pre-filter sponge on there, so your baby fry are safe, your baby shrimp are safe, and it works great. So that's one option. But what I like to use even more than the pre-filter sponge is this mesh screen intake. Now this is a DIY homemade screen intake, but there are some guys on like the Planted Tank forum that sell these in various sizes, and you just have to know what type of filter and what size intake you have. And they usually charge like 10 bucks for them or something like that. But this fits on the end of the aqua clear intake tube perfectly. So now I've got a hook that is a lot longer, goes down into the water a lot further, and I've got a metal screen, a mesh screen on there that's too small for any fry or any baby shrimplet to get sucked up into there, and I don't have to worry about a thing. Perfectly safe. Now, the last thing that I've done with my water change system, my Python water change system, is I've put quick disconnects, snap connects on every connection. And what this allows me to do is quickly change pieces, maybe add the extension if I want to add the extension if I need to do a water change on a tank that's out in my rec room. But this has made life a lot easier to just simply disconnect and connect. I have these on all ends and all the fittings of my Python water change system, including the system or the piece that connects to the sink. Now Python does sell these quick disconnects, but they have a brass fitting and they charge, I don't know, they're like $12 to $15 for one. This entire Python system and all the fittings that come with are made out of plastic. I can't understand why I would need brass and need to pay like 15 bucks for one. So I got these plastic ones off of Amazon. I think I paid like $5 for two, and they've worked perfect. I have not had them leak. I've not had any issue with them. The other thing that I've done is I've added an additional shutoff valve here on the end of the hook so I can stop the water flow when I need to. So between all these modifications, you know, using the AquaClear 70 intake tube, the screen protector, or the Max 3 pre-filter, along with the quick disconnects, it's just made my Python water change system a lot more versatile. It's been a lot easier and a lot quicker to do my water changes, and that just allows me more time to enjoy my fish and enjoy time with my family. So anyways, we're going to cut it right there, folks. Hopefully you've picked up a tip, and if you've been looking for ways to use your Python or get the most out of your Python, hopefully I've been able to share something with you that helps you out. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd be honored and appreciate it if you'd consider doing so. Hit the like button on your way out. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. And like always, folks, until next time, we'll catch you later.